Hi, Sam. How are you, Sam? Sam, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
How's
Finally,
Fran?
we'll finally be able to talk to each other.
Yeah, tell me what's going on with you.
Oh, hanging in there. Got some surgical procedures to be done on Monday. And we'll go from there, I guess.
What kind of procedures are they doing?
It's on my neck, to my backside of my neck, and later on it'll probably be base of my back too. Hurts like, hurts a lot.
Are you taking anything for the pain in the meantime?
No, I wish I could take up drinking, but doctor says no.
Uh, how many of these surgeries, are they surgeries that you're having?
They're called minor surgeries. I gotta go to like a surgical center, and they do it over there. It takes like about 20 minutes or so. It's this is my second one. I have one more to go after this.
And what do they hope will happen is the pain will recede?
Yeah, what they do is they insert needles in you on the back of your neck, where the nerve areas are, hoping that that'll make a difference, knock out the nerves. After this one, I'll have another one done in about another maybe 2 to 3 weeks afterwards. And then if that works, which I hope it does, then I'll have to start another procedure on my other problem that I have with my back.
Hey, well, good luck with all of that. I hope
Yeah.
that they're going to work.
I hope so. If not, I don't know what to say.
Hey, I can imagine how frustrating that is.
It is. It is. It's no sleep, no nothing. I'm just going crazy.
Hey, I am sorry you're going through that.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Hi, Clara. Excuse me a second. I got to move the
Sure.
phone out of the room.
I'm the only one that came on first. Uh-huh.
Okay. Did you feel better after the last procedure?
Yeah, well, they give you one of these grade forms to fill out. It gives you numbers like 1 to 5, how the pain is from 1 to 5. It went down pretty well, and now it's way back up again. They said it would go up later on, but gradually they're going to try to do more for it.
Hey, okay.
That's what I say.
Yeah, feel better. Hey, Stan.
Okay.
Good morning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Excuse me a second. I got to find where I put my tallis. Let me go find a tallis.
How are you, Sam?
Hi, Stan. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you're looking good. You been running around the block again?
Well, I keep at it.
I could see. Okay.
Marilyn Surfer's the one who's been keeping in touch with Sue Hoffman. We have nothing to do with Sue Hoffman. She's got dementia. The last report was from Marilyn about Sue.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Stan. Hi,
I will
Hi,
get
Sam.
get in touch with Furman on Monday.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. I gotta go get my glasses.
It looks like you're the only one there.
That's true.
I see lots of empty windows.
Rabbi Vorspan went to find his tallis.
And I see we have the Kabulniks.
Sam is here.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
Here we go. Hi,
It's-
fellas.
Hi, Rabbi Vorspan.
Are we going to be able to see you, or is your
Yes.
cameras okay?
Yeah, my camera's okay. My face, I'm not so sure.
I had a girl in my class last week when we Zoomed. She didn't want anybody to see her because she said, I have a pimple. So she aimed the camera so it was to the side of her face. Unfortunately, it was on a pillow. Kind of gave me a clue as to where her head was, and I think she snoozed during part of the class. But you couldn't tell, but we couldn't see her pimple. That was the important. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My dad's coming. He's just taking his pills.
Good.
He's not among the early risers, is he?
That's a very true statement. Very true statement. Sometimes he gets up at noon.
Stan set
again-
an alarm for 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh, no, not good. But you know, he doesn't sleep all night sometimes. So
Mhm.
that's,
Yeah.
Does he
his,
nap?
that's his current schedule. Pardon me?
Does
Does
he
he
nap?
Does he nap?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to answer that for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes at a time during
Oh,
the day. Sometimes he goes in his room and takes a nap, but usually not so much. So he sleeps in the morning. It's not
Does
like
he
he has to be anywhere most of the time.
right.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm hanging like everyone else.
How's Fran?
He's getting there.
Good.
And I'll just see her soon. She's coming out soon.
Pardon me?
Be able to see her soon.
Okay.
She'll come out.
Hi, Bonnie. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Bonnie.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi,
Boy,
Del.
I'm impressed. Bonnie got dressed up. I'm impressed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Delmans. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Hi,
Shalom.
everybody. See, that's nice. We can see the bigger version there and then smaller.
Rabbi,
Yes.
I read all of this. Do I do anything else? I mean,
And now I have to do it again with meaning.
And underlining.
yes.
So, Owen, I hope that maybe from time to time share what you're learning in the class. I'd love to find out myself. I'd love to learn from you.
As of right now, I have the class starts Monday or the next week, whatever. I can only tell you that I've had 2 classes with this teacher before in literature, but his background is a PhD So he has his doctorate. He has taught at the elementary, junior high, high school, and college level. He's taught at Pierce for a number of years also. He is a humanist. He's a member of his church and open to the world. I mean, he's open arms. And was a Marine. So he teaches a world of experiences. He's a terrific teacher. And I'm looking forward to it. What just happened? We lost something. Oh, someone came in.
Very nice. So, but also remember to check out Sefaria.org and compare.
I did. I wrote that down, and I will do that.
And there's a feature on Sefaria. If you have any problems when you get into Sefaria navigating, just let me know. But you can go into the search and you can just type in the chapter in the book, the chapter in the verse that you're looking for, so that it'll zoom you right into exactly what this sentence is that you might be studying. And then on the right side, you'll see some of the commentaries.
Okay, great.
What are you doing there, vacuuming?
What it sounds like.
Sounds like a saw to me. Someone cutting something, a tree.
Or the gardener outside with the blower.
Yeah, it may be here.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
There's noise outside.
What did I do? I screwed us up.
Oh, Claire, help me, Claire.
There, hi, Kirschbaums and Steve Schuster and Clara and Stan.
Shabbat Shalom. So good to see you again.
The Loomises have joined us.
And Loomises.
Hello.
We're back to Zoom mode for now.
Good morning.
Can you go down and see his face?
Hi,
Helga. Hi, Helga.
I'm on here, but I didn't appear.
No, you're
You're incognito.
You're in your stealth mode.
Hi,
Oh,
Jerry Katz. Jerry Zatz.
Sounded like Jerry.
yeah.
We have somebody on phone, I believe that is.
Oh, the Kirschbaum, yeah. Right.
Vickers bombs.
Hello.
How are you both there?
Okay. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see everyone. It's good to be a physical part of it, sort of like.
Yeah,
Much friendlier than Zooming.
No,
Then
live streaming. Yeah.
But Bonnie, thank you. Thank you for always reading my notes.
Sorry, I never could respond. I didn't know how to, I wasn't on the respond mode or something. So, but I was able to read them. So that was good. I'm glad.
Well, it's very kind of you, especially during the service, to take your time to do that. And it's appreciated very much.
My pleasure. Great to have you there with us.
It's good to be here. Yes.
Jordan, watch alone.
Well, we have a minion even, huh?
Shannon, how's Mark doing?
yeah.
Thank you for asking. He's doing much, much better. He still has his time that he has to be a little bit downtime because he's just such a goer. But thank goodness his mental has gotten much, much better. And that was what was scary, is he really flunked the mental test at first. His clock, you know how we seniors, when we go to the doctor, you have to put draw a clock. I don't know how many of you have done that, but
Not yet.
okay. And he put the numbers outside the clock.
What was the matter?
He was in a car accident.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Right before Thanksgiving. But anyhow, then the doctors told him, rest your brain for 5 days and see if that helps. Well, for him to rest his brain is a real joke, but he did do it. He laid on the couch and watched reruns. And he finally, he did a good clock the next time. And so she said that, but thank you for asking.
Well, we're going to begin our service, and so I'll ask you if you're going to be putting on a talit to get it ready, and we'll say the bracha together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher tzivanu lehit So it's been a while since we've had the Zoom service, but unfortunately, one of the features is that we're going to be muted so that we'll not have any distractions. So forgive me for this. And you still will be able to unmute yourself and use the chat feature if you need to communicate with us at all. But we're going to begin our service on page 14 at the bottom of the page. These are the selections of liturgy that help us to set the mood. Yes, Semat ha'olam, Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachatecha, ureim, 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 v'nasem, ureim, v'nasem ad ha'olam. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir liyom ha'shabbat, 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 mizmor, shir, shir liyom ha'shabbat, mizmor, shir, shir liyom ha'shabbat. Tzadik katamai yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamai yifrach, tzadik katamai yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamai yifrach. V'yeres b'avanon yiskech, v'yeres b'avanon yiskech, v'yeres b'avanon yiskech, yiskech. V'yeres b'avanon yiskech, v'yeres b'avanon yiskech, v'yeres b'avanon yiskech, yiskech. Mikolot mayim rabim adirim, mishmereyam, adir b'marom, Adonai, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Malchutecha, Malchut kol olamim, Shabtecha, b'chol dor v'dor. Malchutecha, Malchut kol olamim, Shabtecha, b'chol dor v'dor. Malchutcha, Malchut kol olamim, Shabtecha, b'chol dor v'dor. Malchutcha, Malchut kol olamim, Shabtecha, b'chol dor v'dor. V'ananu nivareka,
Hallelujah, 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 because hallelujah, 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 name of living God. Hallelujah, talking my mouth. Hallelujah, meaning you God. Hallelujah, hallelujah, titillation. Hallelujah, hallelujah, titillate to us. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Torah Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, Torah Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah. So as you know, when we don't have a constituted minyan in the same room, as we've been able to have for the last few months, but not now, we're not going to be able to do those parts of the liturgy for which you would need the minyan, and that includes the Baruch Hu and most of the Kaddishes. So instead, we're going to skip now to, on page 16, El Adon. El Adon, Baruch Baruch, Befiko Neshama. Hello, Malay, Adam, Da'at, Tuna, Sawebi, Makano, Amita, Emachayot, Lakodesh, Minega, Misamo, Lamanetama, Zechon, Mishol, Lifnei, Chisot, Chesed, V'Rachmim, Lifnei, Devot. Tavim me'arot bara Eloheinu Yetzara v'da'at yemina u'basken korach u'bara natan ba'eliyah mashleim kekerotet Malay ziv u'mekim nagam na'eh ziv ha'mechorah We gather our tzitzit together in preparation for the Shema. V'havienu l'shalom mirbakan for ta'aretz. V'tolichenu kumam with liatenu ki yakubel yeshuot ata. Uvanu v'chartam b'kam v'lashon b'karav tanu l'shimcha hagedol sela be'emet. L'hodot lecha u'liachedcha b'yahava. Baruch ata Adonai. Abocher b'yamo Yisrael b'ahava. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha levayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha v'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'eineinecha uv'chetavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the tzitzit of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God." Azot, azot, shibachu ahuvim, shibachu ahuvim. Veromemu, 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 el. Venatenu, venatenu, yedidim. Venatenu, venatenu, yedidim. Zmirot, shirot, v'tishbachot, berachot, v'hodaot, lemelech el chai v'kayam, ram v'nisa, gadol v'nora, mashpil geim, umagbi hashefalim. Motzi asirim ufode anavim v'ozer dalim. V'yoneleam, v'yoneleam, v'yeh shavah melav. Tehilo le'el elyon baruch le'barach Moshe u'bnei Yisrael chanu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osei feleh shira chadasha shibuchu geulim l'shimcha svat hayam Yachad kulam hudubim lichu v'yamaru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. So we're going to pause before we have our communal prayers of thanks in order to, or at least our individual prayers of thanks, to have communal prayers of thanks. And we're going to begin with birthdays. This is birthday Shabbat. And we want to wish a very happy birthday to Jackie Gordon. Jackie, you are a New Year's birthday. So happy birthday to you. Jerry Gort celebrating a birthday this month. Leah Nachenberg, Neil Tober, Owen Delman, happy birthday. Claire Silverman is with us. Happy birthday to you, Claire. Fiona celebrating a birthday this month, as is Lynn Churdy. Anybody else celebrating a birthday this month that I have neglected? Wave at the camera and I will recognize you. I think we got all of our January birthdays. Anybody else? Nobody there. So let us wish everybody a happy birthday. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday. And now we are going to share what we are thankful for. And just wave at the camera. Let me call on you and then remember to unmute and share. Who would like to begin? Mr. Kirschbaum, Richard. But you'll have to unmute.
There. Okay.
Thankful that our niece is coming into town from California, and we'll get a chance to see her tonight and tomorrow. And thankful that our son is doing much better, recovering.
And Janet.
And I'm thankful for that as well. And thankful that we were able to spend 5 glorious days with the newlyweds, our grandson and granddaughter, and spend part of that time up in Sedona and had just a wonderful, wonderful time.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Who else would like to share? What are you thankful for this lovely, lovely Shabbat? Go ahead and wave at the camera. Ray.
Yes. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. 2 things. We were very fortunate last month in December to go to a Friday night service at Ramat Zion. They had a musical Shabbat, and your son-in-law, who told us that they're hoping to be able, depending, of course, on the situation, to go back to doing that once a month. And one of our very dear friends, their daughter, Janice Mountainer, plays the violin, and she was one of the musicians performing.
So we participate.
Right, it was beautiful. And the other thing is, our daughter Renee will be coming in the end of this month. She'll be teaching a class at the Coast Guard base down in San Pedro. And when she's finished, she's going to have a chance to spend a few days with us. So looking forward to that.
So we're very blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Give a wave. Sam Kabalman.
Brian, would like to say a few words.
Hi, it's great to see you and hear you. Welcome back. We love you and miss you so much. And it's amazing just seeing what it brings into my heart. I'm sure everybody else, the warmth with Shabbat, sharing it with you, seeing you, and Rabbi not having to run around and plug things in. You can sit still. It's amazing. And finally, it's nice to see you in the picture too all the time now. It's a pleasure. I'm sorry you have to go through this for us, but we are so appreciative to be part of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Fran and Sam. Thank you. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Clara Rosenbluth.
Yes, well, the end of this month, my sister's grandson is getting married, and we're actually going to fly down to the San Diego area to attend the wedding. It's the first time that we're going anyplace. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the family down south.
Nice. Enjoy the simcha. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Mo.
You know, I'm see if I can word this right. I'm thankful for the vaccines. My daughter, my son, two of my grandkids all had COVID. I think the Omicron, I'm not sure, but all of them went through very slight cases. And I'm thankful that they were healthy so much that they were getting bored not doing anything because they were quarantined. But I'm really thankful that they were vaccinated and thankful they're healthy now.
Thank you, Mo. Good. Lou Loomis.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm really thankful. I had surgery on my nose to correct the deviated septum of all things. And I'm recovering and I'm healing. I can almost breathe. It's wonderful. And I'm really grateful to my wife who helped me through this. It was tough. It was a tough few weeks. So I'm feeling much better now. Thank you.
Right. I can imagine how excruciating that must have been, Lou, to have to breathe through your mouth all that time.
All the time. It's horrible. Yeah. Couldn't sleep. Yeah.
Poor Paula trying to sleep through that.
No way.
Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Armand Wazana, yes.
Well, I have the most joyful to what I'm going to say. It's so beautiful to see all the members of the temple, including you and your wife, and I see all these beautiful people, and I'm very glad, very happy, and I wish to everybody happy and healthy New Year, and God bless everybody.
Thank you, Armand. Who else would like to show what you are thankful for? Give a wave, and I'll call on you. Do I see any more waving? Do I see?
Page 2.
There's nobody there.
Yes, there is.
We do not get a page 2. See? Okay. There's nobody on page. Yeah, we have the name, but we don't have.
Okay.
So right. Nobody's waving.
Okay.
Who else would like to? Sorry for the bickering. You have not joined to an episode of the Bickersons. This is still your Rabbi and Rebbitzin who are working our way through. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Janet.
Okay, Bickersons, I have to tell you that it is such a joy to be able to hear Bonnie and you together again in the singing. Love your singing by yourself, but it is just beautiful with the harmony.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Oh, by the way, just before I forget, we will be Zooming services for this month and the month of February. And then the board of our congregation will reevaluate as we move along, but hope you'll continue to join with us. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Okay, so Stan Schroeder, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
Thank you, and thank all of you. It's a real occasion after the in-person services to do this again on Zoom. In-person is wonderful. This is wonderful in its own way. And of course, this is our Shabbat service. And one of the main parts of a Shabbat service is a Torah service. We learn Torah from Rabbi Vorspan and his thoughts. Sometimes even from me and my thoughts. But I want to thank all the other Torah teachers that I have and speak a little bit about today's Torah portion, not to take away from what we're going to hear later. But this, of course, is the Torah portion in which we are getting ready to leave Egypt, all of us, because we are told that in the Torah portion, that we should tell this story and be the ones who have actually experienced each of us in our own way. And of course, as part of my Shabbat and Torah study, I have a number of other teachers and I want to mention them. and a little bit about what they said into today's Torah portion. The Tikva Fund and Rabbi Meir Soloveitchik, as I've shared a number of the Torah studies and other things that he's done. And this week he talks about the history and symbolism of matzah. Matzah, of course, a big part of leaving Egypt. Rabbi Stephen Carr Rubin, the Reconstructionist rabbi who wrote the book that I use often, called A Year with Mordecai Kaplan, Wisdom on the Weekly Torah Portion. And he talked about the hardening of the heart and free will and what it means, and something we each have to look into at all times. I mentioned, of course, Rabbi Ed Feinstein and his co-Shabbat, Rabbi Gelman, and they talked this morning about the meaning of I was a slave in Egypt. How do we actually integrate that experience of being there, and what does it mean in terms of how we remember the experience and integrate it into our lives? And then Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who's still on, of course, of blessed memory, still has his website going, and this website talks about storytelling, leading a moral life, and identity, and all that entails. So I'm very blessed to have all these people in my life. And as you may know, one of the ways I express Torah is through poetry. So I'm going to take about 2 minutes to read my Exodus Torah poem, My Journey from Egypt. In Egypt, the pharaohs reigned supreme, where earlier Joseph interpreted a pharaoh's dream. A famine was avoided by storing grain, so food was available in years without rain. But Joseph was forgotten, as is often the case, in the years after a significant event takes place. Israelites in Egypt were forced to be slaves, oppressed with hard labor until late in their graves. Pharaoh then orders his kingdom's midwives, newborn Israelite boys, take their lives. Moses is saved and raised as the royal, and to his ancestral people he is loyal. In the wilderness he is tending his flock and sees this bush burning next to a rock. The bush isn't consumed, and that seems odd, but you never know what to expect from God. God tells Moses he expects him to lead, relate to the Pharaoh's God's people must be freed. Pharaoh consented in plague number 10. The Israelites left enslaved in haste 600,000 men. Pharaoh sent soldiers soon to give chase. It looked as if the Israelites would lose the race. But God parted the waters of the Sea of Reeds, then drowned the Egyptians upon their steeds. 40 years of wandering to accept God's laws, the Israelites overcame their many flaws. It took the birth of a new generation to enter the promised land and become a nation. That journey to freedom included me too, and each of you was proud being a Jew. We must shape this journey in our day and age and learn what God wrote on our unique page. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. And let us join together at the bottom of page 18 in preparation for our own private prayers of thankfulness. Sur Yisrael, Kuma B'Ezrat Yisrael, Ufidei Meha, Yehuda V'Yisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, God Yisrael. And we continue quietly with our own private prayers of thankfulness. Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Chaim v'chesed, Chesed v'rachamim, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Yisrael Amecha, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Ein v'chesed v'rachamim, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Yisrael Amecha, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Yisrael Amecha, Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha, Ein v'chesed Ose Shalom, 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 Nimramamu, Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu. Ose Shalom, 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 Nimramamu, Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'Yaakov, Yisrael, v'immeru, Amen. And we continue with our Torah service, middle of page 19. Ein kamocha ba Elohim Adonai, Yemasecha, Malchutecha, Malchut kol amim, Memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador, Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai yimlach olam ha'ed, Adonai oz li'amo yiteh, Adonai yivarech amo v'shalom, avar rachamim, eitiva b'rtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, kivecha levad batachnu, melech Elam v'nisa gadol omamim. Vayehi bimso Aharon, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misanecha, mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Be'yan arachetz, ve'lishmei kadisha, kadisha yakira, ana amar tushbechan, Be'anaraches, Be'anaraches, Velishme Kadisha, Kadisha Yakira, Anamartus Bechan, Yehi Ravakadama, Tititach Libi Bioraita, Betashli Mishalim Delibi, Veliba Decholamach Yisrael, Letavu Lechaim, Velishlam. Amen. So the Torah portion is Bo. We're not going to be able to have a communal aliyah as we would at home if we were all at shul, but we are going to hear Bonnie read from the Torah portion. So this is Parashat Bo.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe bo el Paro ki ani הכבדתי את ליבו ואת לב עבודה למען שיתי אותותי אלה בקרבו ומעיין תספר באזני בנך ובין בנך את אשר התעללתי במצרים ואת אותותי אשר שמתי בם ויראתם כי אני אדוני ויבוא משה ואהרון אל פרעה ויאמרו אליו כה אמר אדוני אלוהי העברים עד מתי מענתה לענות מפני שלח עמי ויעבדוני.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, we are now going to tighten my my camera. Wait a minute. All right. We never had that problem in person. Okay. I'm going to say my comments on the Torah portion for the consecration service that we're going to have just in a couple of minutes, but we do want to say first, therefore, a Misha Be'erich for those who are not well, and then we turn the Torah to the Ark, along with the blessings for Israel and for the United States. So I'm going to ask you in a moment to share the names of the people who are not well. May he who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal these who are sick.
Ellen Lowe, Jane Epson, Bonnie Ritter, and Linda Sharp.
Thank you. Please wave the camera and I'll call on you, Sherry Dollins. And please don't forget to unmute.
Jen and Steve.
Thank you. Other names, Mo?
John Taylor, Angie Testa, Sue Barth, Cindy Marks, Mike Roach, Bob Zetz, Bob Nelson, and Robert Feld.
Thank you. Other names, Paula and Lou?
Are we unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Lou, Charlie Matlin, Lou Solomon, Stacy Loomis, River Wiley, Evan Wiley, Leslie Stein, Nancy Severe, and John Pearson.
Thank you. And Lou?
Paula Loomis, Ruth Solomon, and Chuck Richmond.
Thank you. Other names, Barbara Haddam?
Paul Trepay, Jimmy Green, Phyllis Cook, Aaron Haddam, Lauren Haddam, Byron Haddam, Maya Haddam.
John Shirkus.
John Shirkus.
Good. Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Jackie Gordon?
Yes, my granddaughter Jenny, she is very ill with a COVID. And if you could send a message upstairs.
Of course. Thank you, Jackie. Becky Finley?
Okay. Elliot Ackerfield, Pete Harrop, Megan Ross, Diana Stallmaker, John Stallmaker, King Finley. That's it.
Thank you. Other names, Ray Wazana?
Fran Kabolnik, Lou Loomis, Jerry Stoner, Suzanne Matioy, Janetta Wazana, Donna Cruz, and Phil Cooperman.
My brain went south.
Thank you. Other names, Becky?
D. Kylo and Clyde Kylo.
Thank you. Jordan Pistol?
I get everybody.
Raymond Owens.
Thank you. Other names, Sam Kabolnik?
Mark Suckman, Fran also,
Thank you.
and Sherry Blunt.
Thank you. And Sam will include you on our list. Who else has names? Clara Rosenbluth?
Our son David is recuperating from surgery, and I'm going to have a Mohs procedure in the near future.
Very good. Thank you. Who else has some names? Janet Kirschbaum?
Gary Rosenstein, Mark Kirschbaum, Brandy Gillum, Robert Harris, Grant Hackman, Emily Hobbs, Neil Castron, Sheriff Farber, Ruth Cohen, Zoe Pittler, and Lou Loomis.
Thank you. Judy Isikowitz?
Eileen Wasserman, Christine Kroll, Virginia Graham, and Rachel Isikowitz.
Thank you. Sheila Hart?
Sylvia and Jake Tarika, Duncan Nassar, and Aaron Lipman.
Thank you. Other names, go ahead and wave. And those of you who are not on screen, you can, there's a hand raising icon that you can push, or you can go on the chat and you can include the names there. Any other names that we have neglected? Steve Schuster. Don't forget to unmute, Steve. You can't? Okay. Okay, did you say their names? Okay, thank you. Other names, please wave and I can call on you. I don't see any other names. Okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishlach lahem b'mheira refuat hanefesh v'refuat haguf v'toshach Chol Yisrael v'nomar amen. May the All-Merciful restore these people to full health and to full vigor, along with all others who are stricken with illness, and let us say amen.
Amen.
We're going to make a blessing for the United States. Harachman hu yivarach et artzat brit v'yagen aleh. May God bless the United States of America and protect her. And before we share a blessing for the state of Israel, right after we do this, we're going to say a blessing for, we're going to share this from Stan about Israel. And it's an article that says Ben Gurion University researchers teach goldfish to drive. The goldfish were placed in a camera-operated motorized vehicle across several different sides of a room and had to reach a target area marked by a red line. And researchers at Ben Gurion University have taught goldfish to operate an FOV, fish-operated vehicle. And that the fish's ability to drive proves that fish can develop spatial awareness and navigate foreign environments. They can just never remember where they were. In their study, which was published in a peer-reviewed scientific journal, Behavioral Brain Research, the fish were put in a fish tank attached to a wheeled apparatus that was navigated by a camera, tracking the fish's movement, and a linked computer system that followed the fish's movement toward the walls of the tank, subsequently moving the vehicle in that direction. The fish were placed on all sides of the room and had to reach a target area marked by a red line, and were rewarded with fish food if they reached their target. Undeterred by numerous decoys and tricks, the fish seemed to improve as the experiment progressed, going from needing up to 30 minutes to find a target to later reaching it within 60 seconds. The study shows that even small fish, often associated with small brain sizes, can learn and adapt at similar speeds to even the smartest mammals. The fish were able to operate the vehicle, explore the new environment, and reach the target regardless of the starting point, all
while avoiding dead ends and correcting location inaccuracies, the authors of the study said. So that's amazing. You've showed more respect to your fish the next time you see them. All right, so thank you, Stan, for sharing that. And we are now going to return the Torah to the Ark. And so we'll ask you to please turn to the bottom of page 21. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha meyushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Thank you.
Highlight of my service here to you.
And of my day. So we turn our attention now to a little bit about the Torah portion, and then it's going to lead us to the consecration of officers. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where there was total pitch darkness. I can tell you that when I'm in a room and there's absolutely no light, nothing, not a flickering from a luminescent dial on a watch or extraneous light coming in from any other source. If I've ever been in a room that's been completely dark, I get so disoriented, it's very uncomfortable, and it gets very, very scary. And that's why in our bedroom, we have residual light. We have light from a clock radio, and we have a light from the electric blanket warmer, and we have a little light that always comes in through the door. But just for it to be totally dark is something that is spooky for me, and I just can't stand it. So if I can't stand it for a few minutes, you can imagine having this situation for 3 days. And that seems to have been what the 9th plague was. So Stan already told us that we are dealing with the end of the Passover story in our Torah portion, of the end of the plagues and the redemption of the Israelites. And this 9th plague, the plague of darkness, is described in the Torah this way. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Hold your arm toward the sky, that there may be darkness upon the land of Egypt, a darkness that can be touched." Moses held out his arm toward the sky, and a thick darkness descended upon all of the land of Egypt for 3 days. People could not see one another, and for 3 days no one could get up from their dwelling from where they were. And yet the Israelites had light in their dwellings. So the rabbis talking about this ask this question. They say there clearly is a difference between this plague and all of the other plagues. All of the other plagues, they could not do anything about them. But this plague, they could. This is the plague of darkness. They could just turn on a light. They could light a candle. But apparently, it wasn't that kind of a darkness that they could do anything about. It was not a physical darkness. And the rabbis ask, well, then what kind of a darkness could be so profound, so significant that you could touch it? And the answer might be, the rabbis say, that it was a psychological darkness, or it was a spiritual darkness. It was maybe a deep depression. What's interesting is that the word melancholy actually comes from the Greek root meaning dark mood. And so maybe the Egyptians were suffering from this kind of a darkness that was a deep depression. And this is the kind of a depression where people just lack the energy to want to move, to want to go anywhere, to do anything, to be concerned about other people. That's how dark the blackness was. And that's the way it was described in the Torah as relating to the Egyptians. People who cannot see their neighbor are incapable of spiritual growth. They are incapable of rising up from where they currently are. And in Jewish law, it tells us, how do we know when it's light enough in the morning, when the blackness and the darkness of the night have given away enough to be able to say the Shema? And the answer is that when you can see a distance away two people and you can recognize them as friends, then you know that the light has come, the darkness has lifted, and life can go on. To be able to see other people, to be able to see friends and distinguish them from people who aren't friends, that's when it's light enough. That's when the darkness has ended. That's when the plague is over. In order to be able to see people, you need to move away from the darkness. You can't be on the board of directors or the executive board of directors of a congregation if you have a darkness in your spirit, in your soul. You need to be able to see people. You need to be able to function to help people. And the people who have served for our congregation this last year, and the people who have signed on to do it yet again for another year, these are people who have emerged from a darkness that would have kept them from being concerned about other people. These are people who have moved away from any kind of darkness that might have been a part of them to a lightness where they can see people and want to be there for people and to help people. And that's why the consecration of officers that we do every year in January, the first Shabbat in January, is so significant and so important, because we are acknowledging the lightness that they have brought, the illumination that they have brought to our community. And we are again able to say thank you for the work that they've done this last year. It hasn't been easy because we've been dealing, as we know, with the darkness that has descended upon all of us. And yet we are emerging from that, and the board of directors is taking the reins again to be able to make sure that we emerge from it. And so we thank them. We thank the ones who have served in this position for a year, for having brought this light to our souls and to our lives. And I'm going to now discharge you from the obligations that you have imposed upon yourself this last year. And I'm going to, on behalf of all of the people on the screen and off the screen who are a part of our community, of our congregation, I represent them in thanking you for the work that you have done. And so the following people are the ones whose names I mentioned a year ago this week, who have joined our board of directors and our executive board, and they are the following. The following members of the board of directors for this last year: Alan Berman, Owen Delman, Sheila Hart, Fran Feynman, and Mark Hyman. And the officers: Social Action Vice President Fran Kabalnik, Ritual VP Stan Schroeder, Program VP Sherry Dollins, Secretary Becky Finley, Treasurer Mike Easley, Executive Vice President Harvey Cohen, and President Jordan Pistol. You are now formally discharged of your obligations and your responsibilities, and I thank you for what you have done for and meant for our congregation. And now, before you rush off, I need to now consecrate you. And so I am delighted to be able to consecrate these, the officers for 2022. Board of Directors: Alan Berman, Owen Delman, and Fran Feynman. And members of the Executive Board of Directors: Social Action Vice President Fran Kabalnik, Ritual Vice President Stan Schroeder, Membership Vice President Jen Dollins. Ways and Means is open to anybody who in this year would like to become a member of the Executive Board and take on those responsibilities. Program Vice President shared by Sherry Dollins and Sheila Hart, Secretary Becky Finley, Treasurer Mike Easley, Executive Vice President Harvey Cohen, and again, President Jordan Pistol. And before we hear from Jordan, I am going to officially consecrate you with this blessing. This morning, we are consecrating the leaders of Congregation Shir Ami who have obliged themselves and obligated themselves to be concerned with our community during the coming year, and we thank them for accepting this responsibility. Eloheinu v'Elahei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, please bless the leaders of Congregation Shir Ami with wisdom and vigor and understanding. Sustain them with your spirit. Grant that their labors be a blessing and a source of blessing. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
And welcome to all of you on the board and the executive board. And now I introduce to you again our president, Jordan Pistol. Jordan, please share.
Whenever we talk about, or anybody talks about darkness, my first thought is that when the time comes, are you supposed to run to the light or run away from the light? I can never figure that out, and I don't want to make the wrong decision. In terms of, we did lift the darkness today, because last Shabbat we had 10 people at services, and plus those watching on live stream, and we don't get to see the faces of those on live stream, and we don't even you know that you're doing something remotely. Today we have, by my count, 37 people, which is a fine. That's a fine. Other congregations would love to have our attendance, and I'll bet you that very few of them approach anywhere near the percentage of membership that shows up for Shabbat services. We're not exactly where we want it to be or hope to be this year. There's still a lot more letters in the Greek alphabet that I hope we never get to use. But that makes it our watchword for this year. It's going to be flexibility and responsiveness. The idea that people that can't fully participate in what we can do because we were in person and live stream had its limitations, that's why we decided that we would do Zooming, so that everybody can see everybody else. Everybody can find out how everybody else is doing. And so basically, we lifted that darkness. We get to see other people's faces. And occasionally, you can blank out your own face if you don't want to be seen. You can create your own mini darkness, which I was doing because I didn't want you to see me drinking water. Practicing for Yom Kippur. But we generally are still a thriving congregation and will continue to be. We are, at the board meeting, it was suggested that I'm the captain of the USS Shir Ami, and basically from my Navy experience, what I learned that is just don't hit anything. And if you don't hit anything, you're doing okay. Unfortunately, we've been able to handle everything that's been tossed at us in one way or another. We have an upcoming social programs. We have upcoming a program with a specialist on aging. Like we don't already have several of them here with us today. We will continue. We will thrive. We will be here and see everybody, and we'll be together as long as we can and in every possible way that we can. So that's what that is, the flexibility and responsiveness that will be the watchword of this year until the time when we will come out of the viral darkness and be able to conduct our services again. But even if that's still a long time in coming, we still are able to adapt and overcome. So the other watchword for phrase would be "we shall overcome," which we are doing every day. Every day you get up, every day you come to services in whatever form it is, we are overcoming the adversities that are being tossed at us. And I applaud you all for the effort you put in to overcome these adversities, and everybody that makes the effort to be here and makes the effort to be here for each other. And with that, 2022 is going to be, I'd like to say it's going to be a better year than last year. I don't know how it could be worse, but but I'll do my best. No, this is a year that if we're all working together, we will still make this. We'll look back on 2022 and say, wow, that was a year. And I want to thank you all in advance for all the help I'll be given, especially by the board members. It's an easy job to do when we have a total aggregate of about several millennia of experience on our board. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jordan. Welcome back. Special acknowledgement as well to the past presidents of the congregation who are also a part of our community, continue to be a very important parts of our community. The presidents of Congregation Shir Ami do not fade off into the distance when they finish their term. They hang in there. They continue to be their own source of illumination for all of us. And thank you to the past presidents as well. Sherry.
I'd just like to tell Jordan that I haven't forgotten that we owe him 2 years worth of president's gifts, and hopefully we will give him 3 next January.
So is that one gift that's worth 3 times more than it would have been, or is it 3 different gifts?
Hopefully 3 different gifts, but we'll see what comes around.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. And we continue our service as we turn to page 22. And if you can, we'll rise for the Musaf Amida. And let us join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka v'Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chastei Avot Umevi Goel Libnei V'Nehem L'Ma'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'Chayei Metim Atah Rav L'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayim Neitim Berachamim Rabim Noflim Berafet Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bal Givurot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechayei Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'amanat alachayot meitim Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hametim. In the bottom of page 23, Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Mekadeshei Shvi Shabbat Kulam Yisbeu Vidangu Mituvecha Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malachutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Uvashvi'i Ratzita bo V'kidashto Shabbat Chemdat Yamimoto Karata Zecher L'Maaseh V'Reishit. You may be seated. And before we send our concluding prayers, we're going to call on Jordan, our president, to please share with us some community congregational announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
The rabbi's tish will be going on virtual hiatus until March. And as will the chairs. Stan Schroeder will be conducting our monthly Shabbat Torah study session next Saturday, January 15th at 10:30 a.m. at the Schroeders. On Monday, January 24th, we will have our first program of 2022. Max Furman, PhD, clinical psychologist, and a specialist in working with older adults, or as we tend to think of them, adults, will present a timely and informative program via Zoom on Monday, January 24th from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Dr. Furman's program will address how older adults, or as Harvey thinks of them, youngsters, can continue to lead successful and fulfilling lives as they age. See the Shir notes for more details. Our next Shabbat service will be on January 22nd at 10:30 a.m. via Zoom and live stream. This is our Linen Shabbat, and as we will be Zooming, an email will be going out this week on how you can contribute linens or monetary donations for linens for those in the shelters. I would also say that since we will be continuing via Zoom, and I will not, for the next 2 months, not having our services in person, you need to present the certificates of antivirus programs on your computers. Okay.
Good.
Does anybody have anything to add?
Phyllis.
I have no power to demute you.
Oh. We can't
We-
hear you, Phyllis.
Not yet, Phyllis. Try pushing the space bar.
Hold down the space bar.
The program on aging, I thought was from 1 to 2:30, not 2 to 3:30.
In the Shir notes, it's 2 to 3:30.
It's 2 to 3:30. Just like it says in the Shir notes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that would be terrible if it says, oh, we have to, because it tell Dr. Furman that those times interfere with everybody's nap time. Anything else? Fran. You got to demute. Go ahead.
I want to thank everybody who donated Target gift cards to the women and children for the holiday. They were so very, very grateful. Thank you, Shir Ami.
Because that's what Shir Ami does.
All right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jordan. Let's all join together in the singing of Ein Keloheinu, page 24. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimokeinu, Ein Kimoshienu, Micheloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Michemokeinu, Michemoshienu, Nodeh Leloheinu, Nodeh Ladonenu, Nodeh Lemokeinu, Nodeh Lemoshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Makeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Makeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'atei gedula yotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu ki goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu ki mishbachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim lima'al u'shchinatu zo begavhei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes zulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashivota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, bashamayim mima'al, v'al ha'aretz mitachat einod. Nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. Please be seated. However, if you are in mourning or observing yahrzeit, remain standing. And if everybody could please unmute as we read these names for their yahrzeits of the coming 2 weeks. Zichronam livracha, John Allen, Joseph Gordon, Sadie Rosenbluth, Max Miller, Jenny Edelman, Alan Selznick, Danny Borowitz, Abram Silberman, Shirley Turovsky, Francis Cantor, Rose Esco, Tilly Falkenstein, Deborah Ruth Nimovitz, Goldie Liverant, Helen Samansky, Morris Schlackman, Robert Geffen, Fifine Henderson, Jean Victor, Annette Hyman, Max Victor, Ben Levy, Miriam Scheinwald, Miriam Oda Sigadel, Norma Lazar, Beatrice Schwartz, Paul A. Krupp, and Helen Sitzer, Manya Kramer, Frank Miller, Lori Orens, Carl Neil Lerner, Martin Shinsky, Bell Shackman, Clara Schneer, Shane Sue Zinke, Philip Edelman, Hildegard Geller, and Erwin Meyer, Saul Joachim, Ruth Siebler, Evelyn Solomon, and Lee Grubman. Are there names that I neglected? Please raise your hand and let us know. Ray Wazana.
Rachel Whitty.
Thank you. And Sheila Hart.
Richard Hart.
Thank you. Any other names that we've neglected? Sam Kowalnik.
Oh, Suckman.
Thank you. Any other names that we've neglected? The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 25. If you have not yet, please unmute yourself, all of you. Yitgadal v'yitkadash v'nei rabba v'alma divrach v'yifei v'yamlich v'alchotei v'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael v'agalam v'yam kari v'yimeru. Amen. Hey Shnei Rabba Mevorach Am Olei Olmaya Yitbarach Yitabach Yitbar Yitbomam V'Yitnaseh V'Yithadar V'Yitpeh Alal Shemei V'Yitpeh Elani Kol Berchata V'Shirata Tushbechat Shemata Amiran V'Alma V'Imiru. Amen. Hey Lama Rabba Min Shemaya Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael. Amen.
Amen.
Shalom V'Rova Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael.
Amen.
Please be seated. I want to remind you that this is the Hebrew month of Shvat, and that means that next Monday will be Tu B'Shvat. Hope you'll have an opportunity to hug a tree, to plant a tree, to have a Seder. There are Tu B'Shvat Seders that some people will be having. And we're going to conclude our service with the singing of Adon Olam, which you can find on page 26. And then we will have our communal kiddush.
I don't know what happened. I don't know, but that's okay. I can remember more.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'Terem Yitzchak Nasa, B'Chefzakon, Azay Melech Shema,
Look, the picture.
Shalom. And let us now join together in the Kiddush. To have some wine or grape juice that you will be using for the Kiddush. Go ahead and get it. And we are going to have an opportunity.
Very quiet.
Let's all go outside, be with some trees. Visham Reuven, Yom HaShabbat Vaikat Shehu Savri. And Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi, did you say a prayer for Israel? Did I miss that? Did we miss the prayer for Israel? Yeah. We didn't say it. I didn't think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Oh, we did? Okay, I missed that part. Okay, thank you. I thought we didn't.
I don't think the prayer for Israel.
Well, we have it all on tape, so we'll be able to.
Okay.
I told a story about Israel, but you may be right.
No, you did.
You did it.
You did.
You did it? Okay.
Yeah.
If nothing happens to Israel for the next 2 weeks, we're okay.
Okay. Okay.
But the fish can drive, so we're good.
Well, as Owen told us at the board meeting, when gefilte fish is $14 a jar, it better drive.
But Becky, you can say a prayer for Israel anytime, so you don't
that's
have to
true.
wait for us.
Okay, that's
to do it.
Yeah, that's true. True.
And in any words.
True.
In World War II, didn't they attach bombs to dolphins and send them into warships?
Can't hear you.
I thought they did that. They were doing that later. I don't think they could train them then. But that was one of the. I don't know if they ever actually did it, but it was supposed to be the idea actually to go after Soviet submarines.
They still do, Owen?
They still do, and they don't do it for Soviet submarines, at least that they're talking about, but they do it for underwater demolition.
Ah.
Rabbi?
When you're a fish smart enough to know you're on a suicide mission and you try to find some place to go so it doesn't explode, and you're a smart fish. Yes, Owen.
I don't want to scare you, but if you look behind you, there's a bear coming up towards you through the woods.
There is?
was
Okay,
cute.
well, that's why Bonnie's sitting further behind me to.
I noticed she
Yep.
kept
You're
creeping
in
close.
trouble if she runs faster.
He doesn't have to outrun the bear.
Just one person.
Rabbi, when you were adjusting your camera, it reminded me that and saw the monitors and all the things there. When you used to go into courtrooms, there was just a judge's bench and all, and now there's like monitors up there. And I wonder if what that looked like is the Bema of the future.
I don't know, if I have 5 monitors here so that I can keep track of and I only own 1 camera, but 5 monitors. But that lets me see some of you up close and read some of the chat, and I have a chance to see what's going on live stream over here, get all of you over here. So I got quite a setup here. I'm very proud of it.
As a matter of fact, as Becky pointed out, Rabbi, you have about 37 monitors here.
So Judy asked about where this forest is. I have no idea. It was just online. I do a lot of searching for Google images and then I put them in my background.
So Rabbi, I have a question for you. Is it easier or harder? Which way is easier for you, to be in the synagogue, I know with Bonnie monitoring and all the complications, or doing this at home with all your monitors?
Yeah, interesting, Judy. They're so different, but I think there's a little less to have to keep track of sitting here and everything is in front of me and Bonnie is here monitoring everything. It's a little more, it's more complicated when you're presenting the service and you've got places to go and things to do, and it's just a whole different ball game, but it's a little less intensive when you're sitting here. And then I'm not hurting my back picking Torahs up either. So that's another
But
feature.
I think that the live stream has more issues of, I don't know, projection or the sound seems to be a bigger issue than when we're live streaming. Yeah.
From sure.
From Shul. And here with the Zoom, it's sort of cut and dry. It is, everybody can hear. Because I kept looking to see, I didn't know if any of our children were on live stream, but they didn't have to be to monitor because Zoom was an option. So,
yeah, if you were at services, Bonnie would have to keep running out into the lobby in order to see whether people could hear and see that we're live streaming. So we don't have to worry about that.
Well, the problem is really the equipment, though, that all that you have at the shul is a laptop to try to do everything. And now you have, all your equipment, as you say, your monitors and everything there. So,
It's great. We can only say how much we appreciate it. And I always felt so guilty saying, no sound. Yes, thank you. We have sound, no sound. And just, it felt very hard on me, not hard, but uncomfortable, because I had to always say that. And I wanted to let you know. I mean, I'm sure other people knew it, but
Yeah, absolutely. Like you'd be in the lobby, chit-chatting.
And our kids, Benji and Alana and Shayna, were on live stream and would say exactly what you were saying. Sound is better, it's cutting out. And I mean, one of the issues is that my technology only goes so far. So I can only do what I've learned to do, and that's limited. And then it goes a step further to where I should be pushing other buttons on the computer. So no, but Janet, you were never out of line or anything saying we can't hear you. I mean, we needed to know that. And also I think the one of the issues with the speaker or how live stream monitors things is that sometimes it pops in and out all by itself, and it takes, there is a certain lag time in what you're seeing and what we're doing. And then I don't know. I mean, I certainly can't explain everything, but you've always been wonderful in saying things. And the Kabbalniks also and saying, or whoever else saying, we can't hear you. It's so that's always okay to do that.
If the purpose of live stream was to try and replicate a group of us getting together in one place, this position right now, I have everyone on screen. I have whatever it is, I can't count that quickly.
25.
Thank you very much. That feels much more like a group, because I can look at my friends, I can look at people like when they're talking and so on, hear them, look at them, and you begin to feel like you're in a group. Granted, it's a electronic group, but it's better than live stream.
Absolutely. I find that Zooming is much more satisfying. Being able to have a two-way conversation, being able, when people share what's going on in their lives, being able to hear the other members of the congregation speaking, it's much more satisfying and feel more participatory. And no, for me, it's a much better experience.
And also, people who are not in that one location where the live streams, they're left out here. I don't know where you are. I think you're sneaking off to Hawaii while you're telling me you're somewhere in California, but I don't believe that. But the point is, it's so much realistic to see people and hear them talk.
It's interesting that we all say this, those of us who do the Zoom or live stream, because we don't live there anymore, and we are fortunate. And I really say this thanks to COVID. It's the only thing I can say, thanks to COVID, I think. But the Zoom has afforded us, those of us who don't live in the San Fernando Valley any longer, to be able to be a part of our congregation that we all love. And
absolutely. It really means a great deal.
Yeah, it's great. And then the Zoom is an extra plus added rather than live stream. As I wrote you when you first started live streaming, Rabbi, and I said, can you do both? But
there will be the capability. There kind of is now with something known as the owl. The owl is a way in which people in a group will have their pictures taken by a camera that's centrally located and can actually isolate everybody into their own screen and have them join with people who are not in the room. We've had that capability at the school, but it's in its infancy, and so it hasn't been very effective. But maybe that will be a time in the future, the new normal, when we'll be able to have services in person, and yet those people who are joining from outside of the facility will still feel very much a part of what's going on and be able to participate as we are now with this Zoom.
Yeah, it's great.
Zooming has really helped a great deal to reduce the feeling of isolation. Neither one of us is driving anymore, so we're really feel much more isolated. And I look forward to the board meetings, the Tish, the services, whatever, to feel connected to the congregation. It's very, very vital to us.
With the right equipment and the people that operate it, you can do Zoom as we have it and the service at the same time. But you have to have somebody to operate the equipment to control who's there where. So it can't be just a laptop and someone there at the service. It has to be actually equipment and cameras and whatever to set up to do it. So,
which brings up a question. We have a speaker coming up on the 24th. Are we recording that speech?
We can.
Because some people just can't make. I'm in class during that time, so I can't listen to them ordinarily. I would. It'd be nice to have that to get to. So,
yeah, everything. Thank you for reminding us, because everything that we live stream is automatically recorded on YouTube and accessible on our Shir Ami YouTube channel. including all of the services that we've had from the very beginning.
And the
so-
speaker will be, also?
Well,
And-
only if we set it up that way.
Well, and you have to check with the speaker to see if he's willing to be recorded as well.
Well, but besides that, the way that we do the Zooms, we're not recording like Tish's and those types of things are not being recorded. They're just a local event. And the
Right.
way that the speaker is set up now, that's the way it is, unless we set it up to be able to record it.
Well, the good thing is that all I have to do is push one button and it becomes live stream.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if the speaker is recorded.
That's being recorded.
Okay, so we are on live stream.
Right now, it's being recorded. This entire service is being recorded.
Stan, when you talk to Dr. Furman on Monday, can you address that with him?
Yes.
Thank
I'll
you.
ask him.
Thank you.
Once more.
Well, thank you, Rabbi and Bonnie, for both sets of efforts to keep us going at home and in the show.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to. I just want to say that I thank everybody for their feedback on these formatting issues, because when you sit at a board meeting with not as many people and you're going back and forth, which would be better, which would be not so good, which would people prefer, which would they not? The fact that you have all shared so much of this helps the board make these decisions more easily.
Yeah.
And so thank you.
Thank you.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Have
Have
a
a
good
good
week.
week to everybody.
Have a good week.
Bye,
See
Shalom.
you again.
So, Shavua Tov and a happy, healthy New Year to everybody.
Thank you.
You
You
too.
too.
Lou, just a rotten bowl season.
Yeah. Well, I wondered if you got stuck in San Diego, but then Stan
No.
said you didn't go.
No, I didn't go, and I'm a little, as the North Carolina state, kind of ticked off that they probably could have let them know sooner.
Oh, yeah. Somebody must have known what was going on.
Yeah.
This thing at 4.5 hours before game time was sort of ridiculous.
But just
Well-
watching some of the other games because of the depleted personnel, and it's
Yeah.
not exciting.
The UCLA game, basketball game at Cal at 5 o'clock tonight, as of now, it is on.
It's on.
Yeah.
So there was something in the paper this morning that was questionable, and I didn't really read it, but there was something about it, whether they're going to get started or not.
Yeah, I don't care about, I mean, I'm concerned, but it's one thing when people are ill and dying from the pandemic, but then when they're messing with football and basketball, then it really becomes something.
Okay. Shabbat shalom. Goodbye, goodbye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Happy New Year.
You too. Shabbat shalom. So I will bring this to an end. It's good to see all of you. Take care. Good luck to you, Sam.
I do.
Shabbat shalom.